Hello everyone, my name is James. I came to Warhammer via a long circuitous route that started with D&D minis a few years ago after being away from D&D for a couple of decades. So I'm not exactly a stranger to painting minis, although I've only really just started a couple of years ago. And I was drawn to Warcraft mostly because of the detail of the models and the variety, of course, and many YouTube videos showing the amazing detail and creativity and skill that a lot of the painters that are showcased on YouTube exhibit with their Warcraft miniatures. Since diving into the miniatures themselves, I've also taken an interest in actually playing the game. And there are, of course, many YouTube videos on the lore, on the minis, on all of the factions, all the armies, and playing the game. But part of my confusion and frustration, if you are also new to Warhammer, is that there are so many experts on YouTube that have, forgotten more than I will ever know, that even their starter videos can be a little boggling. So I kind of thought this is a unique opportunity, at least for me, to, as a complete novice, sort of start at the beginning with everyone else who's starting at the beginning and kind of start where Games Workshop kind of has in mind for us to begin. So I selected a Recruit Edition starter set because I couldn't decide between Necrons and Space Marines, and this set has both. So I thought this is a perfect set for me. And for the video, I thought, well, I'll just open the box just as any other beginner would, kind of as intended, and we'll see what's inside and look at the rules and the scenarios that they have set up for us. So my box is a little frayed, pardon me. So inside we have the recruit manual, and this is full of all sorts of information about Warhammer 40k, about the factions that are included inside, even the lore, some painting tips, I believe, and of course how to assemble the models. But mostly what I'm going to be focusing on once we get started on the models, and I will not be going step by step, either through assembling the models or even painting them. But I was thinking I would do, once I've gotten the models painted, we'll start off with, the first mission together and lay that out and play it out and, make the same mistakes maybe, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we start with the recruit manual here. We have that. And then we have some data sheets. These go along with the minis that are included in the box. We get some dice. These are the bases for the miniatures. And these, of course, are the sprues that have the unassembled minis. And I will, as I said, I will put together, or I will grab up the minis that I have, in fact, assembled and painted for our first mission. So you have that, and the bases go together. And then you have these terrain mats, I presume, and measuring templates for ranges and distances. And oh, we've got a very small set of decals here. I didn't know that was in there. And then we have this is supposed to be a terrain eventually. I forget what it's called, but I'll look in the book when we come to it, and I'll lay out the mat, and we'll set the terrain down where it's supposed to go according to the mission rules, and then we will set up the minis. So I have put out the terrain map as promised, and I have set up the minis on the board in accordance with the first mission. We've got Necron warriors on one side, 3 assault intercessors on the other, and they have some spacing, which I have done in advance. My understanding of this first mission is that the assault intercessors, the ultramarines here, have got to get to the other side of the map. The Necrons have to prevent them from successfully doing so. It's fairly simple, straightforward introduction to movement and shooting, and does not actually use all of the individual abilities and attributes as outlined in their data sheets, but the first mission parameters tell us not to worry about that. So we're not going to worry about that. So the first thing that is going to happen here is that the Necrons are going to take their turn. They have the option to advance, but since they only have to prevent the Space Marines from getting to the other side of the board, I think I'm going to have them be stationary. The range of the Necron weapons is 24 inches, so most of the Space Marines, even on the diagonal, are going to be within range. So I think I'm just going to have the Necrons stand still and shoot at the Space Marines, and we'll see how that goes. Now, the rules instruct me to do this one at a time, but I think probably to preserve everybody's sanity, I can just roll all 5 at once and see how we do. The rolling to hit is based on the ballistic skill of the Necron warriors, which is a 3+, which, again, I'm referring to the book and looking at the data sheet at the same time. That is a hit on a 3, 4, 5, or 6, with 1s and 2s missing. So I guess we'll start with these two here, shooting at this guy, this one shooting at this guy, and these two over here shooting at this guy, who I'm not even sure is on camera. Oh, there he is. So we'll just do that and we'll see how it goes. All right, so my rolls, which I don't know if you can see, it looks like everybody hit. So that's good for the Necrons. And then we would roll to wound, which is a similar roll. Again, I would, as the Necron player, would be making the same roll. And that is, we are comparing the strength of the attacker's weapon with the toughness of its target. And the rules are telling me that the strength, the Gauss Flare, the weapon that the Necrons are currently using, has a strength of 4 versus the Assault Intercessor's toughness of 4. So that is the strength equal to the toughness. The table is actually right here in the rule book. And it says that the strength being equal to the toughness is a 4-up roll. So that means we would roll again to see if those hits actually wound the target. And of those wounded targets, if we have any, then the Space Marines, the Intercessors, have an opportunity to save against that wound. In other words, the armor would prevent them from being damaged even by a successful hit and what would have otherwise been a successful wound, apparently. So we're going to do that. So we're going to roll for our wounds, and we'll see how we do. Maybe I'll do these one at a time so that I don't get confused by who's wounding what. So we'll just start from the left over here and work our way over. So that's a failure, did not wound. That's another failure, did not wound. That's a wound. So this guy is wounded. We'll put a little dice next to him to know that he has to save. And then this guy here, also a failure and a success. So we've got 2 potential wounds and 2 saves to be made by the Assault Intercessor's player, which coincidentally is also me. Their saving throw is a 3-up, which means that if they roll a 3, 4, 5, or a 6, they pass the saving throw and do not receive a wound. So we'll do this guy first. That is a 3, so he does not receive a wound. And next guy, a 4, does not receive a wound. So there we have it. The Necrons have fired their weapons. They actually successfully hit all of the all 5 of the Necrons actually successfully hit their targets. Did not successfully wound their targets, or the 2 that did were defeated by a save by the Assault Intercessors. So then it's going to be the Space Marines' turn next. All right, so for the Space Marines, for the Assault Intercessor's turn, I think what we're going to do is have them move and probably advance, which means we need to forego shooting if they do so. So their move is a 6. So each of these models can at least move 6. So that would be, we're using our scale here. We measure 6 inches to here. And we'll do the same for this fellow over here. I believe it's from the front of the base. I will take a look at the book to make sure I am in fact doing this right. I'm fairly sure it's base to base. So from here to here, that would be their 6 inches. And then I think I'm going to roll to advance so that they can try to reach the other side and fulfill their victory condition. When making an advance to cover ground more quickly, if you do so, roll 1d6 and add the result to the move characteristic of the model. Okay, so I guess I'm not rolling 1 advance dice, I'm rolling 3. So we'll roll for this fellow first. That is a roll of a 2 for him. And I guess we'll just do this. Oh, 6 for him. And a 1 for him. All right, so 2 more inches for this guy here. So from here to here. And 6 more inches. 6 goes right up here. There is an engagement range rule where I can't get any closer to any other model than 1 inch. So we're closing in on that, obviously, with that guy. And obviously my apologies to any experienced Warhammer players who are currently cringing at my fumbling about here. All right, so that's his 1 inch. I guess he should have just shot. But anyway, who's to know? So that is the move for the intercessors, and they are well on their way to achieving their victory conditions. So I think now the prudent move for the Necrons would be to attempt to block this advancing Space Marine if they can. So they have a move of 5. So they can get pretty close. I guess I will do this. It's still outside of an inch, so they're not in engagement range. No, it's more like 3 inches. And we'll have this guy come up 1. We'll get probably 1 inch there, and then we'll have this guy do the 5 inches as well. Pardon my arms. Right there. I want to stay, I think I'll stay out of engagement range for now, just because I'm not recalling what combat effect that would have. And I think we'll leave the 2 guys in the corner where they are, and we'll have everybody shoot again. This time, since we've got a few clusters, we'll do this one at a time. All right, so we'll start over here. That's going to be a miss, and then here we'll be shooting at this guy. That's a hit. This guy, that's a 2, that's a miss. And this guy, shooting at the same target, that's a 4, so 2 hits. And then this over here, this Necron shooting at this one, the 5, that's a hit. So let's resolve the wound roll for this one first, just to get him out of the way. That's 4 up. That's a 2, no wound there. So we'll go back to this guy for a roll for wound. Failure, roll for wound. Success. So that means the Space Marine gets to make a save. I believe that's a 3 up. Just double check. Yes. 3 up, so he saves. So no wounds. Lots of firing, lots of hitting, lots of not wounding. So that will leave the Necrons ending their turn and the intercessors picking up, and I'm going to pause to make sure I look up the engagement range and make sure I'm doing that right. Okay, so I think just to give the Space Marines a chance to use their bolters, we will have think I'll have them move a little bit toward their opponents here, and then fire their weapons. Well, again, we'll get within, see, they have a 6-inch move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get within just about an inch of the Necron warriors, and then we'll stop. So that's, I did look back at the rules, and the engagement range, I think, is just for the purposes of this mission, that there is no melee combat, hand-to-hand direct combat to occur in this mission. It looks as though they start addressing it in later missions. So we'll wait and just play along by the rules as presented. But I will have my Marine now shoot at their targets directly in front of them, and we'll see how they do. So once again, the Space Marines have a ballistics skill of, let's check the card. Oh, 3 up also. So they will be rolling, we'll roll over there first. That's a miss. This guy. That's a miss. Come on, Space Marines, this guy. All right, that's a hit. And to wound, again, you see now the toughness of the weapon, or the strength of the weapon, excuse me, is again a 4 against the Necrons. Toughness of 4. All right, so that's nice and simple. So 4 ups, miss, miss, and then this one hit. 5 up, so no wound. So that's the end of the shooting for the Space Marines. This is a lot of dice rolling and shooting, and not a lot of wounding just yet. There are several other rules, though, that we're not employing, including the AP, which is the armor penetration, and the rapid fire. And again, the rules actually do address that. And I think what I will do is probably replay a few of the missions using those rules the way the book suggests. But for now, I'm sticking to just the first mission the way it is presented. So we'll do one more round of shooting from the Necrons. This fellow here. That's a hit. This fellow here. So we'll just put a hit there. That's a miss. This one, that's a hit. This one, that's a hit. And then to wound over here, that is a wound. So he gets a save. And then to wound, that's a wound. And to wound, that's a not. So save there. Be easier if we just do it this way, which he saved, and then save here, which he saved. So that is the end of the Necron's shooting phase. I think the Space Marines are about to make their way to their victory conditions with their move. Any one of them will do it, I suppose. Oh, 6, if we stay outside of 1 inch. I think we have to do, yeah, I guess we'll call it close enough there. I think he's at the edge of the map. And this guy is absolutely going to be able to make the same maneuver, I would think. I don't think that he actually gets within. Oh, he's a little farther out, but he's really close right there. Yeah, I think we're moving down so the camera can see. And we're right on the edge of the map. And this guy, I don't know if he's going to kind of, I think he's within that 1 inch rule or whatever, but he's pretty close to getting out. So I think we're going to call this mission a success for the intercessors, or close enough so as not to matter. Well, that was interesting. That is not at all how I thought it was going to go. There's obviously a lot of opportunities to turn over successful rolls. I mean, even that first round of shooting by the Necrons, every single Necron actually scored a hit, but then were unable to make any wound rolls against the intercessors. So that was intriguing. So I think what I will do is go back to the book and maybe add rapid fire, which is intriguing because that's 2 rolls if they're within 12 inches, I believe. So if they're within range of the, or within the half range of their weapon, that Gauss flare is 24-inch range. So if they're within 12 inches, I believe they get to fire twice. And also we could add the AP, which is armor penetration, which would reduce the intercessor's save roll. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now, and I will reset, and we'll either run this mission again or move on to mission 2, which I think has, what's mission 2 have? Mission 2 has, oh, Scarab Swarms and the Primaris Lieutenant. Oh, that's intriguing. I do have the Swarms. I don't have a Lieutenant. I have a Captain. He can stand in for the Lieutenant. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll do that. All right, well, thanks for watching, and hope it wasn't too painful, and I will see you again soon.